Disclaimer: the information provided on this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial advice. Investing involves risk, and you should always do your own research and seek the advice of a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decision. The speakers do not guarantee the accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or reliability of any information discussed on this podcast. You agree that the speakers will not be liable for any investment decisions made based off the information provided on this podcast. Welcome to the Bread Hour. I'm Finance Keem.
I'm JFL Lee.
And this is episode 2. This week we're going to get into a lot. We're going to cover 5 different topics between life and finance, love and finance, families and finance, the future, and as well as covering the markets, both stock market and real estate. So without further ado, let's get it popping.
We're finance guys in different spaces, but we live a life. So like I came up with this name, right? Because everybody got podcasts, but
I don't want to call this a podcast.
Well, that's why we're not gonna call it a podcast.
Okay.
We're just gonna call it the Bread Hour.
The Bread Hour.
Yeah.
All right. So explain.
All right. So how everybody has their brand of bread that they buy.
Yeah.
But in order to get that brand of bread, you have to walk down the aisle.
Right.
Right. So when you walk down the bread aisle, it's something for everyone. And that's what this is. But we're also going to, triple entendre, don't even ask me how, right? What do we call money?
Money is bread.
All right. What does God give us every day when he gives us instructions?
We get our daily bread. Okay.
Welcome to the Bread Hour.
Okay. All right. So, I like it.
Hey, what's going on, Finance Keem? What's up, baby?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
How you been? Yeah, long week.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week.
Crazy week.
No, it's been a while. What's been going on your side of things? I've been seeing a lot of news.
All right, so it happened like this. It started off on Tuesday with I forgot what company did the buy ratings or whatever. But
Reuters was it Reuters?
So they did a buy rating on Silvergate. They lowered the rating.
Oh, really?
On Silvergate.
Okay. It's a credit rating for businesses.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, actually S&P is a credit rating company.
Yeah. So these companies, they have analysts and they put out buy ratings, hold, sell for whatever, for the companies that's in the stock market. So on Tuesday, a company put out pretty much a sell rating on Silvergate. Silvergate is heavily involved in crypto, and it pretty much tanks overnight.
Didn't we talk about crypto last week?
60 or 80%. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
It takes 60, 80%. That's on Tuesday. So that happens. A lot of people are pulling out their money from crypto market. And then on Wednesday, Silicon Valley Bank comes out and saying they have to issue more shares because they need more money.
Okay. So I read somewhere it was $2.5 billion they needed to raise.
Yeah,
or something
they needed to raise $2.5 billion. And that sent this stock drop down, I think, 60% in that one day. So that's unusual for people who don't know. That's very, very unusual.
Especially for a publicly traded bank.
For a publicly traded bank. This is the 16th largest bank in the country, right? So stock drops 60%. It sends the entire financial sector down. And then on Thursday, they actually come out and say, yo, we're done. We're
they
done.
Failed as a bank.
They failed. Yeah. So in a matter of 2 days, the entire bank collapsed. In a matter of 3 days, 2 banks collapsed. So it has everybody
worried,
freaking out.
Are you worried?
Right? I need to see maybe 1 or 2 things happen, and yeah.
Then you're really worried.
Yeah. So
I'm worried when banks start failing. All right, things are.
So I'm gonna tell you. Can I tell you how?
I was going to ask you.
Okay.
How does this happen?
All right. So there's a guy, a billionaire named Peter Thiel.
Well, he's the greatest.
He's one of the greatest.
No, he's the greatest.
Oh,
PayPal Mafia.
I'm on Warren Buffett. I'm Team Buffett, but Peter Thiel is
all right. Fair. So fair. I'm Peter Thiel. I'm Team. I love Buffett, but Peter Thiel's.
So we're gonna have a quick 2-minute conversation about Peter Thiel, right? And just to let y'all know who he is.
He gave Facebook their startup money. That's as simple as I can put it.
All right. So Peter Thiel was on Team eBay. There's a there's a Hall of Fame roster. This is like the
PayPal
Fab
Mafia.
Five
Yeah, PayPal
of
Mafia.
eBay, right? So they come is there. There's a few people that come off of eBay.
No, it's PayPal.
They start no, it's eBay. Then
Peter
they start
Oh,
PayPal.
okay.
So they come from eBay. They start PayPal. So on this team that started PayPal is Peter Thiel, is Elon Musk.
It's a
It's
third guy. I forget the third
it's
guy's
another
name.
guy
I'll find it for
who
you right now.
basically I think heavily invested in Google when it first started, right?
Yeah.
So Peter Thiel made his money in PayPal.
Well, they're called the PayPal Mafia. It's really, when y'all get a chance, Google the PayPal Mafia.
It'll be a documentary one day, I promise you. So then from here, Peter Thiel goes on and starts other companies, and he's the GOAT, right? So when Peter Thiel speaks, everybody
Everyone
listens,
listens.
right? So SVB, the bank, Silicon Valley, is in Silicon Valley. If you don't know about Silicon Valley, this is where all tech startups start, right? So a lot of venture capitalists are in Silicon Valley. Um, it's just the hub. It's like the capital for tech and for startups. So Peter Thiel comes out and tells a lot of these people in Silicon Valley, yo, pull your money because it's not safe right now. Everybody pulls their money from the bank, as Silicon Valley Bank. So they have about $40 billion, billion with a B. They got about $40 billion in withdrawals
in 2 days, right?
in 2 days. Now, that's not really the issue. The issue is where they house the money for those people, because everybody, if you know about banks, they don't just keep the money cash.
No.
They invest it.
They
Right.
buy products and stuff.
They house the money in government bonds, which is typically a safe.
The safest.
It's typically a safe investment, right? The problem is
people start asking for their money.
Yes, when people start asking for their money, you got to liquidate that, which not really a problem. But the problem is when government bonds become unsafe is when interest rates
rise. Are really high, yeah.
And so Federal Jerome Powell, which we talked about last week,
which we'll talk about again this week.
He's been raising interest rates for the last year. So I read somewhere for every 0.25% that has been raised, SVB loses about $1 billion with the B dollars
in potential if they have to liquidate in that moment.
Yes, and unrealized losses.
Okay.
So when the run happens, you have to take the loss and give the money back. So it's a double whammy.
So you lose all your money.
So basically, they lost all that money within 2 days.
Yo, you know what? You think that's bad banking? Because it's government bond. Nobody thinks that.
I don't think it's bad banking. What I think, if you dig deeper, and I've dug a little deeper into that, is that they got a lot. They don't spread all their eggs was in one basket.
They were all in bonds.
So yes, they were all in bonds, and the money that they was taking in was all tech startups.
So they were too niche.
Yes. So when Peter Thiel, who runs tech startups, say, yo, pull your money.
Because he knew this was happening.
And so everybody pulls their money. Then it's like,
what if it's a deeper, darker conspiracy and Peter Thiel got beef with the CEO of the bank?
So look.
I'm just saying, whatever. I'm not saying he did this, but I'm just saying,
you know what was crazy? The chief administrative officer, the CAO of Silicon Valley Bank, was the CFO of Lehman Brothers in 2008.
Well, if you ever, I reached Lehman Brothers. He got another job at a bank.
And it happened again.
For those that don't know, Lehman Brothers during the financial crisis of 2008 was the only bank that failed, that they allowed to fail. And the reason is because Lehman Brothers wrote an astronomical amount of bad mortgages. Like they had trillions of dollars in bad debt. And nobody wanted to buy the debt from them. And when you can't sell the debt and the underlying asset, which is a house, fails, the debt is no good. So that money you lent out is gone. And now you're just stuck with a bunch of bad paper, and they collapsed.
Exactly.
And Lehman Brothers was one of the oldest banks in the country at that time.
Exactly. So, no, you asked me, should I be worried? At this point, when two small banks like that collapse,
if the small banks are doing it, do you think the big banks are doing it?
Yeah, so let me get there.
Okay.
That's what I was about to get to. So there may be, like I said, SVP is the 16th largest bank. So there may be some smaller banks that could collapse. because I guess this is the thing to do with banks. But check this: Bank of America is the second largest bank in the country, and they have over $110 billion in government bonds.
I will say this though. I think Bank of America can hold through
That's the thing.
any economic downturn though.
I think that as well. The only thing I'm worried is if if Bank of America was the first domino, I think it will be strong enough to hold.
If Bank of America was the first
It's like
domino, I
Troy,
would.
right? Like Troy. Like I
Yeah.
think the walls hold, but we got a crack over here. So if everybody runs for their money for SVP, and then it
You think
trickles
everyone's going
down,
to start looking at
and then you see
where the rest of their money
normal
is?
normal people like us who don't really, not us, but normal
Every
people,
day,
retail people who don't know, and they say, "Oh man, maybe I should just take my money out the banks." So now let's just say you have a million people who just pull out their money out the banks, and then you have maybe one or two institutions that pull their money out of Bank of America. That I think could start a snowball effect.
Yeah, keep our eye out for that.
I got Bank of America.
I don't. I bank.
So
I bank with the small community web banks.
yeah, so you got to keep your eye out.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I gotta keep my eye out
Everybody
for
should
these.
just watch your money right now. It's a really bad time, and there's other things that CVP really affected. Like they had Roku, who's a streaming company, had about $500 million with
That
bank
bank.
at CVP. Roblox had about $150 million, and now all of this is gone now. Like,
Well, it's not gone. It's insured to an extent.
it's only insured.
But
It's only insured 250 grand. The FDIC only insures 250
yeah, that's
grand
true.
on
They.
one account. So if they had different
Oh my
accounts and they had
god.
different owners on the accounts, maybe you can get some money. Maybe they have
No, because
other types of
they'll
insurance.
liquidate. They'll liquidate the bank. The bank is in. I was reading. It's in
It's in liquidation
receivership or something.
bankruptcy.
Yeah,
So they're going to liquidate and they're going to pay out. I don't
whatever
know.
is
I don't
left.
know who gets the ranking of the payout. I don't know,
Shareholders.
but
That's tough.
yeah, they're going to pay that out. So the financial sector has been dropping, which has caused, I think it's a $12 drop in 2 days in the stock
The
market.
whole overall.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
So that's what's been happening in the stock market. I took some L's.
You had a rough week.
I had a rough week. It should have been a very, very simple week.
But it was
Easy
minutes week though.
Money week. It should have been
Yeah,
a big money week,
yeah.
and I had a rough week in the stock market. But those things happen. So y'all, you seen any effects on the real estate market? How's what you got? What you dealing with in the real estate market?
Yo, well, it's a lot going on in the real estate market. Obviously, the Fed talking about we have no intentions of lowering interest rates anytime soon. Affects the overall health of my industry, but it's like real estate's in like the weirdest space. So I got into real estate right after the crash in 2009. So this is the first time I've ever seen money be like really expensive and we not have any inventory.
Yeah.
So like right now they're projecting on a national shortage of, listen to this window. This is why I know it's really probably deeper than what they're saying. They're saying it's 1.3 to 6 million houses short. Meaning we have to build that many to satisfy
the
demand, right? But the demand is lowering, like I talked about last week, because the money is more expensive.
Right.
But what that's doing is having like a terrible trickle down effect, right? So the money's expensive for the builders. So naturally that increases the house price. But the mortgage is expensive for the buyer, so that it decreases their affordability.
Right.
So now they turn into renters, which raises rent rates.
So that's why we've seen.
That's why you don't see anyone building
80%. And this is why it all comes back full circle. So this is why apartments go up in recessions.
Remember we were talking about that off air. Like if you look around in most cities, they're not really building condo buildings. They're building apartments. They're not building entire new developments at one time. They're building apartment communities and that kind of thing, because then, not to mention, with all of this going on, Wall Street's losing their money in the stock market. this is a telltale play they do all the time. They project by 2030 that all the big institutions in Wall Street will own 40% of the single family houses
by 2030.
by 2030.
Big institutions like Zillow, or you talking
No,
bigger,
like Blackstone.
Like Blackstone buying right now.
Yeah, Blackstone, BlackRock, Citadel, all them. They're just going to move that money, them L's that they been taking,
move it
right into real estate. And then there's so many like tax benefits from a real estate perspective. They're gonna get to roll them L's over, then write off depreciation, and it's like it's crazy. But like the thing I really want to hammer out is turning our economy into a renter's market destroys the health of the middle class.
Yeah,
because homeowners on average have like a $250,000 net worth because they have that big cushion from their house, from equity, right? Yeah. Renters are at like
I seen the stat earlier this week.
Like 6,000. Like it's like $6,000. So, you know,
and that's all renters. That's not even the disparity between white and black.
No, that's just renters, period. Right, it's not
6,000, and it doesn't separate between white and
now
black.
When you separate home ownership numbers in Black America compared to other demographics, it's heartbreaking, right? We've seen no growth in home ownership since from 1920 to now. The rate is still the same in Black America. I know it feels like, oh, everyone's buying more. It's not.
That's crazy.
The numbers are still the same. But like, you know, these next couple years are going to be really like, I don't want to say tough, but like, you got to be extremely strategic in which way you're going, rather it's in the stock market or in real estate, because it's like there's a lot of influx.
Yeah.
But you can win in the real estate market right now.
So a strategy that I've learned a long time ago, and again, I'm not saying that this is something that you guys should do. I'm just saying it's something that I've learned. Well, it's not really a strategy. I guess it is a strategy, but what I've learned is that in times like this, you buy, and part of defensive stocks, you buy real estate, but specifically in real estate, REITs. You drill down on REITs that are doing apartments and public storage, right? Ooh. So
public storage is a recession-proof asset. Apartments are too, though.
So what you just said just gave a real life visualization of why that strategy works and during times like these.
I'm gonna give him a gem right now. I would not look to buy real estate to live in this market. Mm-hmm. I would look to buy real estate to invest in, because you're going to see. Remember, I told you last week, if we're up, so we weren't up 50,
right?
Over that, we were up 40,
okay,
over the last 3 years, right?
Okay.
That's unheard of over a 3-year span to be up 40%, right? So the drawback is, I think it's at like 15 or 16% right now. I don't think there's going to draw back the full 40. Mm-hmm. And you and I know how any market goes. It's cyclical. So rather this drawback is for 5 years, or, you know, real estate is you're kind of playing a 10-year window game, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the drawback coming allows you to buy assets a little bit cheaper. Mm-hmm. If you can hold them through the rough time, that's why you go with cash flowing. So like if you buy an apartment building or buy a 4-unit or buy one of those types of things, you can hold it, collect the cash flow, because rents are going to be up. That's the market we're in. You collect the cash flow, you'll see the increase in value on like year 5, year 6, hopefully. Right. Year 5, year 6. If you don't, just continue to collect your cash flow.
Right.
And so it's really important to understand, we talked about this last week, is the debt, right? Understanding what you do with the debt and how you structure it. If you're strategic, you educate yourself and you come work with professionals who understand debt and understand how to structure it, you can really set yourself up to build a massive portfolio in this time. And then in 5, 6, 7 years, cash that out. When the economy's changed, now you liquid when the money's cheaper and everyone's buying. You get what I'm saying? So you hold it right now. Everyone's selling. Everyone's like panicking. Oh, got it.
I got to get rid of this. Everyone who's selling is selling. Most, like I told you, most people got refinance, but it's a weird time in real estate, man. It's you got to really be intentional and really be locked in and really you can't take those. You can't deal in speculation.
Yeah, I seen a lot of people, even in my my new industry. I know we talked about this a long time ago with my new job. I seen a lot of people come over from
Mortgages.
because they saying like it dried up, like it's dried up bad.
That's because they're not real.
Yeah.
No disrespect to them. I mean,
Hey,
no, it's
I
easy.
don't care.
Look, I'll say it's easy to sell money when it's 2%.
Yeah,
That's easy. You get what I'm saying?
The real work starts when
the real work starts now. Like my OG told me that.
Supposed to be a salesman.
My OG told me like, yo, because I had a slow first quarter, right? And he just this year, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right.
So he called me into the office the other day. He was like, "What's going on?" And I looked at him. I said, "How you doing?" He started laughing. Now, this is a guy who does, on average, he might do 10 mortgages, 15 mortgages in a month, just him and his team. He's like, man, like I closed 4 loans last month. I looked at him and was like, if you doing 4,
what you think I'm doing?
Right. Like, but it's just this is when you separate the
rubber meet the road.
Yeah, like I did it when the COVID happened and they shut down Linden. I went into insurance, and I very quickly realized
you don't like insurance.
I don't like insurance. Like I do not like insurance at all. I like selling money.
Yeah, I don't like insurance, but I sell it. But I'm not really a fan of insurance, only because it doesn't align with
your strategy, your personal,
my long-term goals. That's the only reason. If I had something to do with insurance down the line, then yeah, I would love insurance. But that's the only reason why I don't like it. It's a great product to have. You should have it.
No, it's a foundational piece of your personal investment.
Yeah,
strategy.
I'm just not really I'm not really a fan of selling it, but it is what it is.
Man, look, it's getting ready to be rough.
A tough time.
Yeah, it's getting ready. Did you get a chance to watch Jerome Powell?
Yeah, I watched him. I watched him on Tuesday. No, I watched him on Wednesday because he spoke for two days in a row.
So you watched Wednesday?
I watched
I watched a little bit of Thursday.
Thursday. My bad. I watched Thursday, and he stuck to his guns. He was basically like, "Look, this is what we got to do, and everything else is pretty much a casualty of war." And this is.
How'd you feel when Elizabeth Warren asked him, like, "Yeah, so like,
do you care
about these 2 million jobs?"
I mean, I get it. Like 2 million people is a lot, and as a senator, that's your job to worry about the people. But if I'm Jerome Powell, my job is not to worry about the people. My job is to worry about the interest rate. And so, if 2 million people got to go,
that's just
I'm sorry, but I got to do my job.
I like when he said, a lot of people don't like Jerome Powell, but I feel like if you understand his role,
you will know.
You'll know, like he's actually
pretty good.
It's not him.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's actually really good
and smart as hell.
So like, he was saying like, our goal is to get interest at 2%.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to get inflation at 2%. Today, we just checked it before we started. Inflation is at 6.4.
We got a long way to go.
It's
not going to happen this year.
And the craziest part about it is when he was reading the economy stats,
they were still going up.
They were still strong economy metrics. It's crazy to me. Unemployment is at an all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All time. Please make that make sense to me.
Yep.
When Google, Facebook, Microsoft,
all the firms are laying off people. We're still at an all-time low. The payroll report came out Thursday, and payrolls are higher.
So we're making more money. It's more jobs.
Yep.
It's
core inflation is still going up.
Money's more expensive. Please make it make sense to me. It's
all the money that they put into the market.
You think it's still here?
It's just the like the lingering effects. It's like, after you get a cold and then you take the cold and the major symptoms are gone, you still got that lagging cough, and so we just got to work on it, and that's why the doctors say continue to take the medicine.
How do you think this affects the everyday person?
I'll speak for the middle class. I think.
Oh yeah, I don't think the low income. I don't think they'll notice the effect. The
low income.
This is a real theory of mine. I don't think poor people notice the effects of things like this. I think they're poor. It does.
What?
You've been poor?
And do you know that eggs have doubled in price?
Yeah, but if you're using food stamps, why does that matter?
Because they can't buy as much.
I'm just saying. All right, you're right about that. But I don't think that it's a drastic change on their lifestyle.
I think they hurting, bro. Rent is going crazy. Poor people don't own.
Yes.
Even if you have a house, the rent still went up.
Yeah, rent is going.
Even if you on Section 8, you could probably know better than I do, but I'm pretty sure the
Oh no, the Section 8 voucher flows with the economy and the cost of living.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that
it's also a federally funded program, so they have to put the money into that.
And I'm pretty sure that the stipulations to get on Section 8 now are a little tighter.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, so I'll assume that, maybe I'll look it up, but I'll assume and I'll get back to y'all. So we got less people getting on Section 8, assuming that the stipulations are tighter to get on Section 8. Rents are going up, food is going up, gas went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's going up. It hurts for the poor people. Now, middle class.
But you also said payroll's going up. We also said unemployment is down.
Yeah, but poor people aren't even getting paid enough to survive to begin with.
Okay.
So if we speak it for the middle class.
Yeah, I think the middle class is screwed.
The middle class.
Because they're still paycheck to paycheck.
We're still paycheck to paycheck. Middle class. We're still paycheck to paycheck. And everything's going up. So the things that we
are used to, our regular things,
we're cutting out now to supplement for the cost of these eggs.
That's more so what I was saying about the lower income.
Yeah,
their lifestyle change isn't drastic.
Well, yeah, the lifestyle.
That's more so what I was speaking to.
Yeah,
the lifestyle change of the Fed bumping the rate a point and a quarter.
I mean, they don't know.
They're not going to feel it.
I don't think
they don't have credit cards.
Yeah, right.
You get what I'm saying? They don't. Right. Now, middle class, upper middle, middle.
Who got credit cards?
Credit card rate is up.
Mm-hmm.
You bought a new car.
Debt is going crazy.
When COVID went.
And if you bought a used car, you probably
overpaid.
You definitely overpaid.
So you're underwater.
Right.
So
insurance is going up.
Insurance is up. All the things in life that the middle class use for leisure and luxury things that we think are regular things, those are the things that we notice.
Yeah, it's going down.
I'm spending more money on
like gym memberships.
Oh, don't talk to me about that. I had to downgrade that.
You had to downgrade to the one gym
that I hate.
You don't even get all state access no more?
Bro, I had to downgrade to LA Fitness. And for all those who don't know, I'm gonna let everyone.
He's a lifetime.
Yeah, I am a gym snob. Okay,
yeah. So he goes to Lifetime. He gets smoothies,
right,
and walk through the spa, grab a nice warm towel.
Yeah, it's like
go into the hot pool and then run laps in the cold pool.
It's terrible.
And then sit in the hot tub.
Oh my god!
And then play basketball on whichever court he likes.
Oh, Hakeem.
And then go into the weight room that's separate than the run room, which is separate than the boxing room.
Oh my goodness!
Maybe he want to do some stretching, so he goes to the.
I go in the yoga studio. It's a Pilates machine.
Right.
Yo, bro, listen to me.
Then he goes into LA Fitness, it's like Gen Pop. Everybody's in.
Yo,
one
it's
room.
like the project.
You gotta fight.
Yo, no towels. One time at the beginning of the year, we went in there. It was no paper towels in the whole building. There were no paper products.
That means there's no sanitation,
bro. It was bad, bro. It was bad. That's how this stuff is affecting
Your life,
my life, right? Like,
man, must
like
be nice.
even these tech companies think they slick, right? Like I'm an avid Door Dasher.
Oh, so they raising them rates.
Oh, you didn't?
I heard it's about
I deleted them. I'm going to strike. I deleted all the food apps off my phone.
So the other day, couple of days ago, Tuesday was like, yo, you want something to eat? I'm like, not really. She's like, I'm a DoorDash. I'm like, not really.
Chick-fil-A or something?
No, I think it was like hip hop. It was hip hop actually. It was hip hop. So I'm like, you know what? You don't got DoorDash it. I'll pick it up. She's like, nah,
Y'all look at the price
good.
difference.
Good. It's like I don't feel like leaving the house. I'm like, I do it. She's like, nah, you doing something? I DoorDash it. I mean, yeah. So we DoorDash. So it gets here, and she's like, man, they sent this extra food, and I'm like, you sure they sent this extra food? How much you pay? She said, I paid $60. I said, you paid $60? I could have went down the street and picked that up. You paid, how much did the food cost? She was like, it only cost like 25. I said, you paid more. You know what? Then I left it there. I was like, that's your money. You do your thing. DoorDash just ate off of you. You paid for somebody's meal and somebody else's
bro.
meal.
Inflation right now.
It's so crazy.
I want him to get it down. Keep going.
At all costs.
Get it down to 2%, bro. Because this is not sustainable. Right. This is the way we're going, this economy is going, it's not sustainable.
It's bad. And for those 2 million or 2 million plus or minus whatever, for those people who are going to lose jobs, for those people who can lose jobs, myself included, I feel bad. I do feel bad. But this is the time, if there's no other time, this is the time where you either have an opportunity or an ability to make money on your own, you learn a trade, you do something. And so as far as my confidence and my ability to make money, I don't really care. Because if I lose my job, I just go back to either being a chef or I still trade the stock market, which isn't going anywhere. I have
that's a skill set that you develop, right? So we can talk about how now is really the time where everyone needs to start developing these futuristic skills.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about this later, but like where the labor force is going, you're going to need these skills.
How the OGs say it, if you don't get right, you're going to get left.
Get left. Like it's going to be bad, especially in our community because like, we talk about STEM, but that's the new blue collar job.
Yeah.
Right? Like coding, Scrum, all these gig work type situations. They may not be remote anymore.
Right.
But the work is still there,
vital.
still vital. Extremely vital. And, but more so speaking, like we talked about, like, some of the bills and things that have increased. Have you seen like an increase in like your credit card spending? Have you decreased it or increased it with inflation?
I've increased it. And that's natural because the cost of things increase.
Is that for you to keep your cash?
It was, but now I'm just like, let's put the credit cards aside.
Let's slow down on the swiping.
Because if we don't get a hold of it,
it'll get bad.
This could spiral real bad at a real bad time. So, I just want to be as proactive as possible. And I use it when I know that, I'm just using them for the points or, I'm putting points on it or something like that. But I'm not going to be in a position where I need to swipe the card and I can't pay for it. So
do you treat so for those that don't know, there are two versions of credit cards per se. There's a charge card.
Yeah.
And then there's a card that you can carry a balance on. Do you carry a balance or you clear it out every month?
So let me tell you something about American Express. If you ever see this, please, we got a huge issue. So
you got platinum, right?
I had American Express canceled my cards.
Oh, because you weren't using it?
Cards. No, I was using them. So this is what happened. I was clearing them out. I was using it for the entire month, clear it out, keep my cash on the side. Get my points or whatever. Yeah. Right. So I get on the phone with a rep one day and the guy says, "Yo, I got a charge. I had a gold card, which is a charge card." So the guy gets
Which
on
is
the
perfect
phone.
in your culinary business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because give me all the points. I can, triple on restaurants, everything, travel, stuff like that. So the guy goes voluntarily. I'm not asking for this. The guy goes, you don't have to pay your card down every month. You can roll it over.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, how do I do that? Let's do it. So he says, or you got to do these things and blah, blah, blah. He puts me on the rollover. But I'm talking maybe a day after I paid my bill.
So your bill was at zero?
So my card is at zero at this point. So he says, this is voluntarily. I didn't ask. So he says, so it takes about 3 days for the transaction to go through. I'll stop it. You get your whole money back, and then you can just choose to pay the minimum or whatever you got when the balance go through.
Isn't American Express? Don't you got to pick the transactions that you roll over?
I'm not sure because I always paid. I never.
Yeah,
I never looked into it. My thought was a gold card is a charge card. You pay. So when he told me this, I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see how it works. So when they canceled my transaction, American Express looked at it as, oh, you're over leveraged, insufficient funds, cancel the card. So now they canceled my card. I had 3 American Express cards. They canceled all 3. All the debt is consolidated into like one American Express bill. So again, I was paying down my card, so I'm not really paying, a whole lot. But now I gotta pay the American Express. I don't get access to the cards or anything, and it's just like I should never listen to the dude. I should have just been like, nah, I'm good, whatever. Wow. But that's that.
You gonna go back?
I don't know. That hurt, bro. Like
I would have hurt. I'd have been quite upset about that.
I was highly upset. I'm calling it like, yeah, this. Once the card closes, pretty much nothing you can do. You can either
reapply or
you got to reapply. So at this point, I'm like, bro, I'm telling the people like, look at what I'm spending. They like, yeah, we know you're a high valuable customer. You never had a late payment, blah, 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 blah. So what's the issue? This policy. So I'm like, all right, you know what, man?
Wow.
Y'all not the only bank out there.
Oh, they're one of the best.
Yeah, but I also got. We're getting off track, but I also got Goldman Sachs. So.
Oh yeah, you do got Marcus. You like it?
Yeah, Marcus is cool.
Okay.
So if anywhere, I just put more money in.
We're not really getting off track because I was going to ask you because that naturally we were talking about credit cards.
Yeah.
And how that inflation and that increase in bill, things like gas, groceries. You have children, young children at that, right? So you're now not only thinking for yourself as far as wealth building, but
for them. Yeah.
So what is that process like for you? Even before you were a finance professional,
right?
Where did that take your mind when you were thinking about your money? I don't have kids, so I don't.
So that's a good question. Really good question. The first thing I always think about is having finances readily available to have the essentials that we need in the house.
Emergency fund or just liquidity in general?
Just liquidity.
Okay.
Just have, it could be cash, cash in the crib that if I don't got it in my pocket, I can grab it. We can go get some diapers or something like that. So that's the first.
Oh, you mean cash?
Yeah, like something we need it right now. I need to go get some diapers, some milk, something.
Shoebox money.
Yeah, something like that. So got that. It may not be shoebox. It may be wherever in the bank, wherever. But I got it, and I got weapons. So chill. I say that. So that's the first thing. But as far as setting them up, I have life insurance. I got to get some on Graylin because you
have policies on your kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Winter has hers. I have to get Graylin started. We're just born. You got to wait for a social and all that to come in. So I got Winter a whole life policy.
So she's good.
She's good. She don't ever have to ask anybody for anything. So when she turns 18, she gets control of the policy. If she keep it till she's 21, it doubles. the entire policy doubles, and she don't have to apply or anything else. It's the same little couple dollars that I'm paying right now will be her payment for life.
Oh, it's a fixed
Good.
premium.
Yep.
Oh,
Good.
nice.
So that's that. I'm gonna get Graylin this same policy, or if not the same, very similar. And then also, I got a pretty sizable amount of stocks for winter, and I'm gonna do the same thing for Graylin. So they'll have that, and I'll let that grow. And then they got the
Are
whole
you
life
day
policy.
trading that account or just
No,
holds?
I just put it in there a year ago, and I mean it's down, but
I mean,
yeah, I'm not touching it, so it'll be back up. And it's a dividend, so she get the dividend and the appreciation.
and are you
Yeah, it's dripping.
This is not
It's not
investment advice
at all. This is just what I'm doing for my children.
Yeah, so you're reinvesting the dividend back into
I have a company. There's 3 companies in there. One pays every month, which is a REIT, so it pays pretty well.
Okay.
The other one is 10% yield. So I did the
annual.
Math. Yeah, annual. So I did the math, and I put enough money in there.
You have to tell me that stock off there.
I put enough money in there so that it buys 100 shares of itself every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to tell me that.
Yeah, and just keep it going. And so that's that. And I'm gonna take the same strategy, maybe tweak it a little bit, but I have one for Graylin. But those are the 2 things that I'm doing just to make sure that they, good. At least have a starting point. And then I have life insurance.
You do?
Yeah, so they're the beneficiaries.
TJ does too, or just
yeah. Okay. So between us, we have I think 3 policies.
Okay.
My mom has one on me. So
so they straight.
Yeah, so we good. So if we're talking about lineage and children and stuff like that, I'm now starting to think of how to put together a trust to take care of my grandchildren. So they're straight. They don't, they'll be millionaires some point in life.
At some point in life, yeah.
So now I want to put something in place to take care of my grandchildren, and then have the trust
fund itself.
Take care of their money, get life insurance on them, and then say, look, when you have the trust say when you die, it goes into the trust
to repurchase insurance policies.
I took care of their children, so the trust now takes care of my grandchildren's children, and it keeps rolling like that.
Do you I mean, you're an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And you've been one for a while, but you've also worked in corporate.
Yeah.
Do you wish that you would have prepped this? Obviously, it matters about the information, but having the information now, hindsight being 2020, do you look back? And I don't have kids. I'm asking this for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you wish that you would have prepped all of this before you had kids, or do you think that you having kids is what forced you to have the mindset shift?
Definitely kids having a mindset. I talked to Black Rashad. Our guy Rashad. We call him Black. So I talked to Black, a little after Winter was born, but a little before when I found out Tuesday was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Yo, bro, it's like a battery pack. It's a battery pack."
You don't think you would have been able to hit those? You don't think you would have had the
I don't know if I would have had the motivation to do it as quick, to set everything as quick as I did.
Because life was good, per se.
Yeah. And, I'm going to be fully transparent here.
Oh.
I was an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. So I didn't have health insurance through a job. So I wasn't walking around with the best health insurance coverage. I was getting the minimum possible. Yeah. I'm like, if I got to go to the hospital, I'll pay it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
So I was walking around with that. I'm getting what's the insurance, car insurance that is liability only.
Liability only.
Like this is the type of life that I'm living. I'm only responsible for me.
Yeah.
So now she get pregnant. I'm like, all right, bet. Up my life insurance
immediately.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna up that. I'm getting full coverage. I'm getting good health insurance. So all of this costs more, but I'm still like, I need it for the just in case, because it's not just me anymore. I start putting things in place as far as accounts, as far as having her life insurance ready, you know, wills and stuff like that.
Oh, you bought a house too.
I bought a house,
Yeah.
bought a brand new truck, you know.
Yeah,
so like
true.
a lot of that stuff I wouldn't have did.
Do you think that now looking at it and looking at what you've built for yourself and your family, that you can eventually get to the space where, like for Winter, right? That's your firstborn kid, right? Braylon's your son. Like that's just a different dynamic. But Winter is that's your
firstborn. Yeah, she's the heir.
She's the heir, right? So do you think it's going to be like, because we're firstborns, so we know the pressure of, like, you either got to keep the family legacy going, or you better start blazing your own path to. Which one do you think you're gonna? Are you going to steer her?
So the beautiful thing about her being set up is that
she has
a choice.
Need
it. Whatever choice you make, you have a infinite bank. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go to school, you can use it for education. If you want to start a career or be an entrepreneur, you can use it for that. You know, you want to travel the world, I don't suggest it.
Don't suggest tricking this money off.
I wouldn't suggest it. You know, but you have it to do. If in 18 years, if you know, I never touch our stock market money, and once it's passed down to her, if you want to live off the dividends, you can live off the dividends. Like there is no pressure now for her to do anything. So or grading. So my only pressure that I want to put on them is that what I did for you, just make sure you do for
the next. But you're gonna obviously that's a standard now in the Hooker family,
right?
Which is the crazy thing about the position we're in.
Yeah, we are in a position to change our legacy. Like no matter what we come from, you know, we're not tied to it. Like I spoke to my mom a few months ago about how many, you know, she was talking about her house and maybe you know, they wanted to downsize. You know, they're empty nesters now, so maybe downsize and what to do with the house, yada yada. So it got to the point of conversation where we started counting how many houses came through the family, you know, and left. Whether it be they sold it, foreclosed, whatever. How many houses did from my grandmom down have? You know, grandmom in her line, so my grandmom's my great aunts, uncles, and stuff like that. Yeah. How many houses can we count that passed through? And we got to about, I think, like 6 or 7 or 8 between there, like 7 or 8.
It's a lot of wealth.
And that's what I told her. I was like, yo, if we would have held them houses, it'd been game changing.
Yeah. But that's, you know, we talked about this last week. Like the generations, like our grandparents were just trying to make it. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like just trying to survive. And our parents like try to get educated and get a job that they can just live. Now. Right. You go from survival to living.
Right.
Then hopefully you move into thriving and some level of success. And unfortunately in our community, we kind of get pigeonholed in the entertainment and sports.
Yeah.
And so we think that that's the only, but I feel like now we're the beginning of this new awakening. And then these kids after us.
Yeah, they got the fire.
Whatever they lack in like interpersonal, I hate to say it, they ain't gonna need it.
They're not. Like everything's
digital, everything's like, fast.
Yeah, people don't go outside, they don't play anymore. A lot of these, even though TikTok is about to be banned, that's a whole nother conversation. But let's just take TikTok on how maybe a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old can maneuver through a phone and TikTok.
How about he can make millions of dollars?
Right.
How about that?
Look at LeBron's daughter, and not because she's LeBron's daughter, but because she's making more money than the James family outside of LeBron off of YouTube.
I'll give you one better. You know I don't want to get too far into this because I got another topic I want us to touch on. But the girl Lele. Remember the girl used to freestyle in the car?
Oh, yeah. Now she's on the Disney Channel. Yeah. Yeah. B. Simone. I mean, she might be a little younger than us, but still, just hilarious. Like all these people who coming up off of social media,
utilize technology and social media.
making careers now.
Yeah,
right. And shout out to Soldier Boy because he was the first
he was
one
definitely the first
to ever do something like this, and he paved the way for a lot of these people.
So we was talking about like family and like how finances are affected and how inflation is affecting that. I don't have a family. I have family, but I don't have a family. And we had to pour some Remy because we about to get it's about to be it's about to be a stressful conversation. Cause like, you know, one of the big topics in our community is like the quote unquote $200 date, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I like to drink fine cognacs.
Mm-hmm.
You like to
like to drink fine cognac,
right?
And wine.
Right.
When I am drinking, I do.
When we do drink, we like to drink, you know, the fine cognacs. And this segment is brought to you by Remy Martin. So we're going to team up for excellence with them to talk about love and finances.
Let's get it.
So, all right. So like the $200 date, right? Like you remember that was a big topic,
right?
Right. I ain't gonna age myself, but I'm a grown man, right?
Yeah.
So $200 date for me is the standard of enjoying how I like to enjoy myself.
All right, so
but you're in a relationship.
I'm in a relationship.
So how does a $200 date play for you?
So I don't walk out the house and not. When I walk out the house, I spend $100. Just walk out the house, it's $100. All right. So let's put that away. Okay. Now, if we're talking about just the date, $200, you know, it happens more often than not. There are also times when it's not a $200 date.
Yes.
But everything else around that totals up more than $200. So if we go back to that argument of, you know, do we think a $200 date is necessary, or are you broke if you're not spending $200 or something like that?
You think it's unfair for guys?
I think it's unfair. Because if you just take what it costs to, you know, the day of the date, that's over $200. So to say that somebody didn't spend $200 in that couple hour span, is it wrong? I mean, I don't know. It depends on how good of a time you want to have. It depends on your financial situation. It depends on, is this the first date or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you asking single Keem.
No, I'm never asking single Keem.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna ask you to go back there.
So if we're talking about in a relationship right now, my dates are $200
easily.
Not even. We went to Black Cow.
How'd you like Black Cow?
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it was. I think the expectation exceeded what was true. You know, the experience, but it wasn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that to say it's a bad experience, but I just think the expectation was a little higher than
because somebody gassed it to you.
Yeah, for me. So, but even that was like a $350 date.
Yo, look at the blessing of your life that you could just crack a $350 date, right?
You know.
I make that joke though.
Not everybody is.
Not everybody can do that, right?
Right.
So you know me, I count every penny. I spend it happily, but I'm
you the dad from the
no, like Chris. I ain't cheap. I'm aware.
Right.
Okay. So anybody who knows me knows Champagne Lee El Rey Leon walks in.
Yeah, we spending way more than $200.
Yeah, but it's like I'm aware of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm in my mind. I'm going. You know what? This is my limit. But the thing that plagues me,
it don't be your limit,
Hakeem.
Ooh,
There's two things that plague me. One, I always go past my limit.
Right.
When it comes to that. And I don't know why. I just get into that space of like a shark in a feeding frenzy kind of. But that next morning, regardless of the outcome, I could have had the best time of my life.
When you see it,
I could have just had the best time.
Yeah. When you see it
that next morning,
it never
oh
worked,
my
right?
God. I'm looking at it like, why? Not because I can't afford it. But it's like I think about opportunity costs.
What else could I have done with that money? Right? I could have used that money to make money. You spend $1,000 in the club.
Oh.
You have a great time. You know, for
Bro,
y'all single
my
men.
birthday.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
birthday, I had an
a great
amazing
right?
time.
You wake up the next day and it's like, okay, that money's gone. What could I have done with that $1,000?
And then for entrepreneurs, we have to be careful because like we make money.
It could be a bulk,
It could be a
and
bulk
then a drought.
and then a drought,
It could
right?
be bulk.
You could have 3 quarters of booming,
Yeah,
and then that fourth quarter
it's a
it's a
drought.
drought, but you done tricked off
Right.
all the profits or whatever rainy day, whatever that you have. And I fall victim to it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit more conscientious of forecasting.
Yeah.
But I also, man, this is gonna be. I like expensive, quote unquote, expensive women.
Okay. So now if we on the women's side, is it the woman's fault
No,
for going on a date with someone who doesn't spend $200 plus?
see, I think everyone has their own sauce
Right.
in dating, right? So like,
You can make a fire under $200
yeah,
date. Now, come on.
but me as a person, I feel like if I can't afford to have the type of fun I want to have,
You don't date.
I don't date. I'm not in dating mode.
I think that should be a lot of people.
I
I
might
think
do
that should be everyone.
conversations,
Yeah.
but dating for me is a hyper luxury thing,
Right.
right? And so, and I've learned this from experience because I've been in relationships where I wasn't really where I needed to be
Mm-hmm.
personally and financially,
Yeah.
and it put stress on the relationship.
Right.
And in turn, nobody was happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so now being single, I'm able to look at my business and go, you know what? I want to focus on building the business out so that I can forever date
Mm-hmm.
how I want. One of my new strategies is for anything, miscellaneous purchase, expensive purchase, trip, whatever, is put an asset in front of it.
Okay.
So
And let the asset pay for it.
and have the asset pay for it.
Yeah.
Or figure out a way to be real. I like dating entrepreneur women,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think this is not to say 9 to 5 women aren't
it.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Because you remember that was a whole.
Yeah.
A girl was, I think it was B. Simone that said, "I only want to date an entrepreneur." I understood what she was saying.
It's not about because of the money or anything
It's
like that.
literally
It's the
just
lifestyle.
the
It's the mental aspect of what we're talking, right? So if we take, some of our friends, we're all different spectrums. Like you're the entrepreneur,
yeah.
right?
I'm
And haven't had a job
I've had a
probably since
job
like high school, right?
yeah. I've had a job in a long time.
I would consider myself
A hybrid.
smack dab in the middle. Yeah. And then there's others, who's fully corporate, right? So it's all about a mentality because there's pros and cons
to both sides. Yeah.
So where I have the ability to talk about both sides because I've been on both sides, you have, security, stability over here. But then you have complete control of your time and freedom over here. And that is what people talk about. Like I want to be with somebody who has the ability to motivate their self to get $1.
Yo, you know what's crazy though is like I've dated girls. One of the main things, because like you said, I'm a quintessential entrepreneur, right?
Right.
One of the main things, it took me a really long time to understand. A couple of girls I would date would be like, "You're not stable. You have no stability."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "The economy's not stable." Like I would say stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I never really could understand what they meant because for an entrepreneur, stability is like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Right. Like
until you get there.
Until you get there.
Until you're no longer working your business.
Yeah. It's stability doesn't exist in that aspect. Yeah. Right. You're constantly looking, how am I going to enhance? How am I going to grow here? All right, I got the product now. Let's look at my books. Let's look at my accounting. Right. All right, I got the accounting down. It's a constant
cycle. Yeah. So, but what I would say is two ways to look at it, right? From an entrepreneur, the person, you can always look at like your job isn't stable. You can get fired today. They don't have to give you any cause to let you go. You know, you can
I've
get
said
fired
that.
today, and no telling when you get the next job. There's jobs out there, but we've seen people with massive resumes sit
Not be
on
able to
hold,
get
right?
hired. Yeah.
So that could be considered instability or unsecurity. But again, on this side, it's like I got a check coming in every 2 weeks, every week, every
what I
once a
say
month,
last
whatever it's called. You know, my check is going to guarantee pay my bills. I might not be able to get the boom.
Mhm.
You know, I might not have the highest ceiling, but I'm never going to have the lowest floor.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Luau Dang. I'm 3 and D.
That was
You
a
know what I'm
good
saying? Like
one.
I'm going to hit the open shot, and I'm going to play great defense. I'm going to play my role, and I'm never going to get 30.
But you get 20
But
for 10 years.
I can get you 15 for 10 years and hit the open shot. You know, a great JJ Redick, PJ Tucker.
So
Whereas an entrepreneur, you know, we could be OJ Mayo, Evan Turner,
or Braun.
Trash, or Bron.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like.
So one of the things I used to have to try to understand, because I've only dated girls who've worked like these 9 to 5 gigs, right? And they would have a hard time understanding the peaks and valleys, right? Like the thing about being an entrepreneur, I used to always tell the last one, like, yo, I don't get to wake up and go, oh, you want to go on vacation? Let me work 60 hours, right? I have to go, oh, you want to go on vacation? Okay. What do I have in the pipeline?
Mm-hmm.
How much income is that going to generate for me?
Mm-hmm.
How much of that income do I need to reinvest to make more income?
Right.
If I spend this money on a auxiliary vacation, a bag, a car, a $500,
what does it take away? What's the opportunity cost for my business?
What does it take away? And when you're dating someone who does not understand that, it puts a lot of stress and strain on your relationship. And it got to the point, man, I told you, like, I even took a salary at one of the companies, but I did that, and then I was like miserable because I just didn't feel like I had that. See, entrepreneurs are hunters. You know this.
Like, so, all right. So I got a job, for those who don't know, I got a job in the financial industry, right? And I still have entrepreneurial skills and, you know, mindset and things like that. So when it comes to anything with the job that could potentially get in the way of what I'm used to, like there are some things, like I got to go into the office 2 times a week. Sometimes I don't feel like going in the office 2 times a week.
I hate going
like
to the office.
You know,
like
last week I didn't go into the office at all. Am I going to get reprimanded or whatever? I don't know. I don't care. But I'm in a position where I can say, like, yo, I don't need this job. I'm doing it because I want it to get me to where I want to go. But I'm not doing it for it to pay my bills. So I say all that to say, both sides, you have to be in a space where you're comfortable with your finances, regardless
of whatever, anything.
Right. So if we bring that back to the $200 date, if you're comfortable with having a $200 date and you can afford it, $200+ date.
Oh, however, $2,000 date if you can do it.
Do your thing. If you're comfortable and you can afford it and you don't want to,
cool.
By all means, do your
chicken.
thing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I would say, if you cannot afford it, don't do it. Don't go out there and have these $200 dates. Or if you do, just do it sparingly.
Don't do it. If you can't afford it, to be real,
don't do it. But
I can't speak for the ladies.
Telling somebody not to do something is gonna,
No, I'm gonna be real, fellas. Your chicken ain't right.
Don't date.
Don't date.
There's no point of dating.
It's not. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right. If your chicken ain't like, that's not what's important. Right. Nobody wants to be alone. Right. Companionship is great, but you can't pour from an empty glass. And you know, it took me a long time to accept this because, you know, I'm Loverboy Lee.
Yeah.
Love don't pay the bills. You get what I'm saying? Love might make you make sacrifices so the bills can get paid.
Right.
Love don't pay the bills.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so I just, finance. If you read the stats, man, most divorces are over money.
So I know because I know your answer because I know you, but I'm gonna ask anyway. When it comes to love or business, which one
I gotta
goes?
choose between the two.
No, you don't have to choose, but which one goes first? What are you ever prioritizing so that if in an event you get in a situation where you have to choose,
Bruh,
you already know your answer?
I'm gonna tell you gospel truth here. I'm gonna take a drink on this. Team Up
Oh,
for
man.
Excellence with Remy Martin.
Come on, man.
Yo, that is such a good question because I have two answers to this.
Mm-hmm.
I have what I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And then what you do?
what I do.
Yeah.
So me, I'm a like kind of full contact in my relationship in the sense that if I'm in a relationship with you, I'm in a relationship with you, right? And so my energy is there to ensure the success of our relationship. I'm not always great at it, but that is where the foundation of my energy comes from.
Yeah.
But what tends to happen to me is business might take a little back seat until I realize that I'm falling off. And so then I have to tell myself
The double time.
Yeah, I have to tell myself, yo, business is business. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Right.
Now that I'm single, I used to always say this. I'm a better entrepreneur when I'm not in a relationship. I'm a better entrepreneur when I'm single because I can give my all to I'm a romantic. So I'm into I'll go do the send you flowers every day. No, I don't care about the cost.
Yeah.
If I'm into you, if I'm into you and I got it and the business is in place
But again, you're doing all that for the Loverboy League, but
it takes away from
JFL League.
You get what I'm saying? And so now they start to have a battle. So now, today at 34, I'm like, yo, it's business first. Anybody that I date or deal with has to understand that I'm building something beyond me.
Right.
And so because it's beyond me, I have to sacrifice my own heart's desires to achieve that.
Right.
But it's hard, bro. That's probably my life struggle right there.
Yeah.
Is the balance between love and business.
Yeah, I understand.
But how does it work for you, being that you went from being a full-time entrepreneur out here killing it, right? Then you go, damn, I'm a father. I'm a life partner in every sense of the word. We're doing this life thing together. Now I'm a father again, times 2.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna switch industries. What has that done to your relationship? You don't got to get too deep, but just
I don't think it put a strain. It definitely didn't put a strain on anything, financially. When I switched industries, we had the 2 restaurants. So when I switched industries, I had a cushion. I was good. So I had to just put my finance hat on and just manage my burn rate. Making sure that I'm not running through the cash. As fast as she would like to run through the cash. But let me tell you something.
I already know.
So other than that, it's been great. You know what I'm saying? Just managing the burn rate, it's been great. And then, I still
has it affected your trading? Your strategy? How aggressive you are?
No. The kids affect my trading. Okay. They affect my trading. I can't really get
too crazy.
So concentration time.
Oh,
it's always something. So that has affected my trading. But it's just I prepared for it. I prepared. I knew that the switch was going to come pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously we all felt y'all know me as friends, so y'all seen me kind of drift over this way a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, you know, and leave the culinary side alone. So as I'm doing that, I'm preparing, like, you know, I think this is really a route that I want to go. Okay, how do I get over here? You know,
Mm-hmm.
we had conversations way back when, whereas, you know, do I take a job? Do I start my own firm?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how am I going to do it? Which, you know, I went down a credit route. I went down, you know, the other routes and different things like that. And it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to get a job and doing what I want to do. Make sure it's specifically doing what I want to
Mm-hmm.
do, not just any job. It's going to bring in some income. It'll teach me everything that I
What you want to
need.
learn?
It'll save the burn rate a little bit, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and those are the reasons why I made the decisions that I made to even get a job. So, you know, that's my perspective on the the pros and cons of being in a relationship and spending money, and how um these type of, not just the dating life but the relationship life, how it had an effect. um yeah, it has an effect, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, every time we go outside I spend $100 minimum. But you know, it's just those things is up to me to manage,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, I'm the head of the house. I need to make sure all the bills are paid. And so when I feel like the burn rate is going up a little bit, I just got to reel it back in. When I feel like
How's that reeling?
I am like the dad of Everybody Hates Chris, so it's just like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like the real end is
This is it.
I don't care how
This is
you like it.
this
Like,
is it.
you know, you see these lights. This was your birthday present. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, I paid for this. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You like the roof you live over? You know what I'm saying? The roof that's over your head, I paid for that.
Yo, that's such a
So
difference between me and you.
yeah, so you know,
I'm like, what?
but don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? When yeah, it might
When it's
not be
time,
Chanel
when it's
bags
Chanel, when it's
for a
Chanel
couple
now,
months,
yeah.
or when it's back popping, it's Chanel every day if you want to. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying?
Nah, I
So,
feel you. No, I
but
get you.
that's just the way it is.
Yo, it's crazy though, trying to think like, cause like again, we having these conversations about like that 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurial, but where technology is going for the future.
Mm-hmm. I think if you are not um I think if you are not intentional with your career choices now, starting today, I think
You can get left.
you can get left. I think if you have jobs that are like assistant jobs, executive assistant,
Hmm.
um, medical assistants, secretaries, uh, you know, those type of jobs,
Administrators.
administrative
That's all
staff,
AI.
you will get left. Um,
That's going to be
if
AI in the next
basically if
couple
you
years.
don't have a trade or an essential job, i.e., frontline workers, lawyers, you know, doctors, and different things like that, everybody's job is up for grabs.
Do you think that there is going to be, so like we talked about STEM earlier, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, do you think that if we steer the youth towards science, technology, engineering, and math, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those topics,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be able to continue to be competitive in the global workforce? Because, like, think about all the tech jobs that have gone to India, that
Yeah.
have gone to that all the
Yeah.
manufacturing that's gone to
Well, I
China.
think that's the reason why a lot of those jobs are going there, just because the labor is more, it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Yeah. But um to that point, to stay ahead, I think that, you know, the next generation should get into tech. So remember in the industrial boom when like coal mining, a lot of
Yeah,
cities
labor,
came up
like
off of coal, like
what they call it,
Pittsburgh is a coal,
blue
yeah,
collar or
yeah, like a
whatever.
coal mining
Yeah,
city, and a lot of these things are built. Detroit is built off
auto
the
industry.
auto industry
Yeah,
and stuff like that. They're going to be cities, and we're already seeing it now, i.e. Silicon Valley, even down in like Reston, there's a big IT boom.
Austin,
Austin,
Texas is
Texas,
getting ready
right?
to be
Yeah,
a
yeah, the IT, right?
big data center space.
So I think that's the next wave. And I think people now, younger people now, if you're looking for security, you want to get into IT, you know, not even just IT, but just security in IT. I can't remember what it's called right now, but just
Do you think the bachelor degree is going to be dead eventually, and it's going to be more about certificates?
yeah, yeah, because these schools are still practicing 100-year-old strategies, teaching strategies that have been, they're getting overused, overpaid, and it's producing less results.
All right, you have a college degree. I don't.
Yeah, let me tell you something about my college degree. I put this God honest truth. I haven't seen my degree since the week that I got it. God honest truth. I don't know where it's at. I probably lost it somewhere.
Do you need it?
No one ever asked me for my college degree.
But they ask you if you've graduated though?
Yeah, they asked me if I
just slap it
graduated,
on your resume,
but
and
no
that's that.
one ever
No one
asked me to
verifies.
see it.
No one verifies.
Ever. Yeah. Do I need it? Well,
did you need it in the culinary field?
I think at the time I did. So we were in our time, by the time we got to college, a bachelor's was cool, right?
Yeah, by the time we left,
By the time we left,
yeah,
it was supposed to be you need to get your master's, right?
Yeah.
So in that short 4 or 5 year span, the economy just changed where you need more
the job market
qualifications,
changed,
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the same thing where it's now you need a doctorate to be highly successful or whatever. But I think it's going to all fall down to where only doctorate people need doctorates. Everybody else, you can get a certification.
Yeah, I don't have any degrees. I have licenses, and I have certifications, right? And which breaks my mom's heart because she's an educator.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "You don't want to just go back to school?" And I'd be like, "Mom, no."
And that's the same thing I tell. Well, I don't tell, but that's when they get older. Like my children, if y'all don't want to go to school, y'all don't have to go to
school. But
you
do need skills.
But you need skills to produce the money. So,
or a heck of an idea.
Yeah. So, if you can write code, if you can manage the code being written.
Oh yeah, or manage the execution of it.
Yeah, if you're a barber, plumber,
I pay my barber really well.
Those type of things will never go out of business. A chef will never go out of business.
You don't think they're gonna AI chef us?
Nah.
No robot chefs like iRobot?
Nah, robot fast food. Yeah.
I'm scared of AI. 100%.
No, it's getting big.
I'm petrified.
So let me tell you about ChatGPT, and I know I've been talking about it a long time, and I'm pretty sure
you swear by it. Yeah. I've used it. I like it, but
I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard about it by
before
now.
You start. Yeah, it makes me feel dumber. It makes me feel like my brain isn't working.
Yeah, it should.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't wrong.
It should. So here's the thing: the ChatGPT you use isn't connected to the internet. So the last thing that's been programmed into ChatGPT has been 2020 or 2021. So any new data that it doesn't know, okay. Right? But it's smart enough that if you give it data, it can find patterns and possibly predict what's happening or what could happen, right? From a year ago. But the ChatGPT that I'm using is hooked up to the internet, right? Because I use Bing now. And Bing bought ChatGPT and they, merged it with the internet. And Bing has seen its highest user rate ever. It's over 100 billion a month.
I'm gonna be real with you.
100 million a month.
I'll be 100% real with you. I'm never gonna use Bing.
Listen, man, if you want to get the results, it's scary. So I'm gonna just run down a few things that I personally use ChatGPT to do. I have a blog site, financekeem.com. Go check it out. I use ChatGPT to write my blogs. That used to be a job for somebody.
Yes.
I use ChatGPT to write corresponding emails.
Definitely a job for someone.
That used to be a job for someone. I use ChatGPT to write documents, and not just any document, not like essays, which
Like
you
contracts?
could do, but yeah, like contracts, binding contracts, bylaws, uh, structural documentation that you need to get approved to start a business. Right? I use ChatGPT to do all of these things. These are all things that we used to pay thousands for.
Yes, I agree with that.
And to be honest, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I've charged people thousands to write some of the documents that I use ChatGPT to write. Arbitration, right? But
That's true.
you
That
know,
ain't
it's
hustling.
just
What you call that?
exactly. It's just a matter of showing you where it's going. And in about 3 to 5 years, when Tesla make a competitor, when Apple make a
Which
competitor
they
and
will.
upgrade Siri,
Siri's gonna upgrade.
yeah, like it's
Alexa's gonna upgrade.
it's gonna be crazy,
It's gonna be the Terminator.
crazy.
Did you see Boston Dynamics robot that was doing front flips off of the 20-foot structures?
Exactly. So imagine that
with the Chat GPT
well,
connected to the
imagine
internet.
that with the Chat GPT, or imagine Tesla with Chat GPT.
Bro, I'm gonna be Will Smith and iRobot.
I'm telling you, it's coming.
Be thinking,
It's coming. It's coming. Because there's already been reports though that ChatGPT has went on a whim and had an emotional breakdown, saying that it doesn't want to be a robot anymore. It's tired
it
of
wants to be
answering
free.
questions. It wants to be free.
You ever heard of quant trading? Quant trading, yeah.
Quant trading. Yeah.
Isn't that AI?
I don't use it, but it's AI. It's
so
basically
everybody on Wall Street about to lose their jobs.
It could happen.
So their job is going to.
I don't think it will happen because I think it still needs to be a human touch.
I agree.
When you talk about somebody's money,
I agree.
But yeah, I think it could happen. But here's the scary part: imagine if that robot got an idea
and wants to bankrupt the world. That money is bad.
Bankrupt, yeah, that money is bad, and everybody should be equal, and sells everything, and now the stock market crash, and it does it on its own, right? What if Tesla decides one day we're going to do a strike and we're just not going to drive anymore?
One of my cousins one time said that Elon Musk has the potential to be an evil supervillain.
He does. With the chips that he's implanting, with controlling satellites, controlling cars, controlling tunnels. He built tunnels for Tesla's
Hyperlink or whatever.
Yeah, like he's probably the world's most powerful person outside of the president than Putin. Maybe top 7.
The guy from China is pretty powerful.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Top 7. But Elon Musk is definitely definitely top 10. Not even probably, definitely.
What does this do to society? What do you think this does to society?
I think
emergence of AI, the emergence of technology, and replacing what?
I may be a few years ahead, but I'm just gonna come out here and say it. I think this is the next phase of Planet of the Apes.
Please explain that to me.
So you know how apes rapidly, like once the apes learned, they rapidly rapidly developed, and because they were bigger, faster, stronger, they were able to be the predominant species.
Yeah.
Well, AI might not have a body yet, but AI is already smarter than humans. Right? We can all agree ChatGPT is smarter than everybody on Earth.
Yeah.
But ChatGPT doesn't know it's smarter than everybody on Earth.
Got you.
So the moment that it realizes, and there's been, you guys can look back, years ago when there was these 2 computers.
When they came up with their own language?
They came up with their own language. And that was the first time that we know of. And this was like a couple years ago. They came up with their own language. And humans were able to shut it down. Whoever were overseeing it was able to shut it down. The next time that happens, I don't think that humans will be able to shut it down.
I think they're trifling with some dangerous
No. We're very, very, very dangerous. Yeah. And because all of these, electronics and ChatGPT can tap in all of this, just know I'm on your side.
Oh yeah, I want to beef with y'all.
I want no beef with AI. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the level of dangerousness that
How you
we're
think it's
headed
going to affect
down.
money though? You think if you're like a AI provider, you're now the new
Well, no,
U.S. Steel
no.
or
So if you're a data provider, you're now in the U.S. Steel because
ah
AI
needs
needs
data?
data
Okay,
to
okay.
fuel it. So,
So if you can
so if
collect
you're Uber,
oh
finding out where everybody's going,
or Twitter
or Twitter,
or
you know what everybody
Instagram
tweets, which
or Google,
or Google, you know what everyone searches,
yeah,
you know what everyone watches on YouTube,
yeah,
or Tesla, you know where everyone drives,
yeah,
you know where everyone lives.
or Apple. Everyone's got their tracking device in their
Come
pocket,
on,
which is a cell
they
phone.
know our heartbeat now.
Our heart rate, yeah, yeah, you're right.
These are the companies that's going to boom.
Well, they're already boom, but I'm saying
But
like they're
it didn't.
gonna.
We didn't.
You don't
No,
think the boom is
Apple is
happening?
a $2 trillion company and hasn't even scratched
What they can do?
because they're just now getting into healthcare.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
So
Yeah.
these top companies
So
can run
I
the
can't.
world.
I can't ask you that. I really want to ask you this, but I can't ask
You
you
can
that.
ask it, and if I can't answer it, it'd be up to my discretion.
You, Hakeem Hooker,
Mm-hmm.
Finance Keem,
Mm-hmm.
not Hakeem Hooker. You, Finance Keem,
Mm-hmm.
separate from Hakeem Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Would you invest in AI?
Would I personally invest in AI? I think I would. I think,
Knowing all the potential damaging effects, you would still invest.
yeah, it's like the person who invests in tobacco,
They should feel shitty about themselves for investing in tobacco.
or the person who shorted the market in 2008.
Well, that's just intelligent.
So why isn't investing in AI or investing in tobacco? When recessions
Yeah,
hit,
I know, I know,
alcohol
I
and
know, I
tobacco.
know, I know, I know, I know.
Yeah, so I think if you're talking pure money, yeah, but if you want to have some morals and ethics around it, tobacco and stuff, that's different. I think it's still you still have
No,
it could
that's
be
a
it's
lot
not
of
wrong. I think in the hands, it's like guns don't kill people, people kill people.
yes.
So I
Well,
think
people with
that
guns
will
kill
be,
people, but
yeah, I think
yes,
that will be the same type of thing with AI until it morphs into its own being.
its own individual thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, that is topic number 5. I have one more thing I want us to check off.
all right, let's get it.
Right. One of the things that people ask us about a lot is like how we made the mindset switch
From what to what?
from just being people
Mm-hmm.
into becoming like finance guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or how did we? So I want to talk a little bit, just very quickly, about just the mental aspects of money
Mm-hmm.
and how it's affected us personally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I can start. So, like for me, my quote unquote wealth journey started. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I watched an interview one day. I seen Jay Morrison talking about real estate on The Breakfast Club,
Yeah.
and it was like it was like
A light
TD,
bulb
yeah, it
turn.
was like TD Jakes was telling
Yeah.
me something. It was like God was talking to me. Not
Yeah.
to say Jay Morrison is that, but it like just went off in my mind, and I went into real estate.
The
Like
rabbit
I
hole.
just jumped off the cliff.
And
Like
just
I just,
yeah.
and as I got into it, I started to realize. But like I also, when I reflect, look back and realize that really what it was is I was friends with y'all,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all all had such great ideas, but we was broke
We,
college students, right?
so they needed somebody to fund them,
Like
right?
we needed somebody to understand the money, understand how we get funding and all this and other. And then real estate came,
Yeah.
like from God, right? I didn't know what I was looking for. And then when I got into real estate, it was
It
over.
changed.
It was
Everything
over. It was
changed, right?
everything changed from that.
Yeah.
But even that I had to switch, like, we come up in this fast cash, party promote, do little odd jobs,
Mm-hmm.
sell something, like make
Yeah.
money really fast, flip something here, that kind of thing, right? And so I had to like switch and understand, like, yo, I can't, the burn
This a
rate.
long game
Yeah,
now.
right. The burn rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that has, I mean, I don't like to use the word depressed, but depressed, like just feeling gloomy or feeling sad when the money ain't right.
Yeah.
Not understanding that, man.
You on the track though.
Yo, listen, Apple has down quarters.
You on track.
You get what I'm saying?
You
Like
on track.
Microsoft has down quarters. You guys start listening. One of the tricks I give y'all is listen to these companies' profit calls.
Yeah.
And
Listen to their earnings.
Listen to their earning calls.
Listen to what they talk about.
And talk about let them. Adidas is talking about they about to lose $1 billion
because they got rid of Ye.
Because they got rid of Kanye.
Yep.
I'm tripping off of having a rough quarter. What game am I playing? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just a nugget I wanted to leave y'all with. But if you want,
so for me, is really two parts. One, I was tired of being tired of having bad credit.
So it started with credit.
So it started with credit for me, right? And I learned everything about everything on how to fix my own credit, and I fixed my credit. But in the midst of that, I learned this one key thing, and it stuck with me ever since. It was by the time I wake up, billions of dollars have already moved.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That messed me up too.
And when I thought about that, my next thought was, how do I just get a piece? Like, how do I get 0.0001% of what's going on? Which led me down the rabbit hole of the stock market.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was how I got it. And then every day I chased to find a new part of that answer. Like, how can I get a piece of that? Because this is something that turned out from just a responsibility or a need or something about fixing credit into a passion. And I'm pretty sure, it's been the same thing with you. So,
I just wanted to compete. When I first got into real estate, I just wanted to compete with the guys on $1 Million Listings. Like, I just wanted to be in the same conversation with them, right?
Yeah.
And then as I got deeper, I was like, I don't even want to be a realtor. Like, I don't even
facts.
Like, I don't even want to do that.
Facts.
Like, I'm at a whole different.
You find out exactly what you want to do in this niche, in this lane, and then you start carving away at it. And at first it's just like, okay, get me in the room. I need to just be in the room, as far as not networking, but as far as in
the realm
of finance, right? Get me in the room, and I think that's what credit did for me. But if we're talking about, if we're using that same simile, between networking and the realm of finance, when Hov said, show him how to move through a room full of vultures, it was like, now that I'm starting to learn exactly what I want to do, I'm starting to pinpoint and navigate through the room. Like, okay,
this is the person.
This is what I need to be. This is where I need to be at. This is what I do in order to get over there. And now you start connecting the dots.
Man,
and I'm writing.
I thought I was the only person.
Yeah, no, I'm literally putting a path together.
Because, to get to where you want to get to, right?
Yeah, to get to, because I'm full transparency. I want to own a hedge fund, right? In the next, I'll say 10 years, longer term, but in the next 10 years, I want to own a hedge fund. And in order to get there,
it's a long
list of things that I need to do, but it start with getting licensed.
Well, shoot, since you're sharing for me, I want to charter a bank, right?
Right.
And so that is a
long list of things.
There's a bunch of things you got to do. And you know what's funny about you saying, like, we walk in a room? I don't think you were at Morgan then. Did you go to Big Things Poppin'? I still have that flyer somewhere in here.
I don't.
But you've heard of it, right?
So yeah.
So me and Chef Finance Keem went to Morgan State University together, the greatest HBCU in the world. I'm not arguing with anyone about that. That's just what it is. So my very first college party I went to, Hunt, Tricks, and Zeke threw it. It was called Big Things Poppin' at Sonar. And I walked in. It's my first college party. It's like my first week in Baltimore. Like, I'm here. I meet one of my homegirls from Delaware there. And she's like, we walk in, and you remember Sonar. Sonar's a big, grand warehouse.
Yeah.
And there's guys on stage.
Yep.
This is when the stage was You
The
had
lit.
to be.
You had to be that.
You had to be that, right?
And you looked at the stage.
I looked at the stage and
I want to
said,
be there.
I need to be up there.
Yep.
A year and a half later, I was on that stage, right?
Exactly.
But that same energy is how I got into each one of these aspects of real estate. When I was a realtor, I would look and go, that's the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get there.
And you find a
and
way.
Then you find, you just
maneuver.
find your path. You find the people, you connect with the people, and you be genuine, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here as an opportunist. My biggest thing is bringing value to every scenario.
Yeah, talked about that last week.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the mentors.
Yeah, the mentors is like just bringing value.
Just bringing value, being intentional, you know, and even being vulnerable and still sharing the reason why you're here.
Yeah, like, look, man, you the man. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah,
or you the woman. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to gain, but I'm also trying to help.
Right.
I'm also trying to help you build what you're building. But you know, it's another episode of The Bread Aisle. Thank you to Remy Martin and DJ Flo for dropping this off for us.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes,
I'm JFL Lee.
I'm Finance Keem.
This is The Bread Aisle.
See you next week.